Commodities no different than shoes or something else. It just happens to be that emotionally a lot of people are hell bent against having a cannabis dispensary. But if you look at it realistically, they're everywhere, and you have so much revenue that you're just leaving. I mean, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. And I think that, and I'll be available, and I've been interfacing with my key plaintiffs and so forth, and figuring the best and most economical way to go. But one thing I'll say, and I'm going to get out of here, these consultants that are out there, I mean, I've looked at them. By and large, none of them have ever been in the industry. They study state law, and they spout out about state law, but the experience and their ability to see who should be and who shouldn't be. And I can tell you that most consultant groups, not all, but there's a lot of skullduggery. And people will find a way to pay somebody or pay more than somebody to be actually behind doors.
I say good evening.
Okay.
Our next speaker is Tony Ibanez from the Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, City staff. My name is Jordan Baldwin with the Montclair Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to, again, just our monthly reminder and invite you guys, if you're available. We have an e-waste event happening on Saturday, March 25th and Sunday, March 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. over at the Chamber office. So if you guys are available, have an e-waste information, go ahead and share that with family members, residents. We'll be sharing that through our social media, and thank you guys for sharing that as well. Followed by our networking breakfast on Thursday, April 13th. It's going to be over at the Montclair Police Department at 8:30, and we're looking to secure one. We've already secured one of Resources representative, and we're looking to have her there as well, being part of the breakfast. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Nice seeing you again.
Edward Gomez representing Montclair here, the town center estates on Howard and Central. So the whole complex, the HOAs, I'm the one they pushed me out to come out here. So anyway, just want to review from last meeting on record about the street Howard between Ramona and Central. And it's a street Howard, a lot of fast traffic that we're trying to get that in control. And I was talking to Monica about what we can do. So I just want to see what any progress on that, to see any updates on slowing that traffic down. Because we have a school, elementary school by Ramona. And I know we're going to put a turnabout there in the future. So, and digging some big potholes, but I don't think we improved that. Anyway, that was number one. Number two, Chief, we're talking about the late night racing on Mission and Central. If we can have a little more patrolling there in that area, because the residents, they keep calling me, and please, okay, I'll come to the meeting tonight. So, about the racing and all that traffic, Mission late at night. We can, do something about that. We need some help there to calm down the racing late at night. And the third one would be, we have another idea on when we're going to open up the gym, because a lot of our senior citizens are getting a little chunky. So if we can find out when we're going to try to open up that gym. It's been about 2 years now. And
you're making me hurt. Stop with the jokes.
But so I wanted to find out more about that, about when they're going to open the gym up, the facilities, because I know they're waiting for, I don't know, it's been a long time, year and a half.
Right, next is Sandra Pineda.
feel bleeding to everybody. All I want to say, I want justice for my cousin, and I want them to release the body cam footage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's okay, I'll listen. Next is Abraham Rogel.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for letting me take this time. Podium. My name is Abraham Rojo, and I'm speaking on behalf of my brother, Tony Ibanez. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. If you guys are aware what happened to my brother, Tony Ibanez, and what took place on March 5th with the Montclair Police Department. They brutally beat my brother to death. They used tasers and a baton on him. Today I am here because I am speaking on the behalf of my brother who can't even speak no more. And now my family has to think about laying him to rest because your police department couldn't handle this the right way. We are here as our friends and family to ask you guys as a council member to do the right thing and release the body cam footage. Why is the police department taking this so long to release it? My brother was a born-again Christian who worked for Caltrans. Whatever they did to go in there and racially profile him should not have happened. He should be here eating, he should be at home speaking with my mom, who can't even be here because she's psychologically going through so much emotionally stress, which is why I'm right here on behalf of my mom and my brother. And I'm just trying to keep my cool and keep it civil, because that's what we gotta do, you know? We can't lose our cool in this type of moments. We gotta do what we gotta do. And the fact that they looked at him and racially profiled him, and they thought that he had no family members who cared for him, that they thought he was this, whatever they racially profiled him as, that was not, what they did was cruel and inhumane. And the fact that my brother was a believer in God, and he also praised America and backed the blue, it just hurts me deep down inside even more, because my brother, he didn't deserve to go out like this. And my family and my mom do not deserve this psychologically and emotionally stress we are going through right now. And the fact that the Montclair Police Department thinks we're going to forget about this, sweep it under the rug like nothing happened because they probably thought he was homeless or whatever the case may be they saw. No, I'm not going to let this go unheard of, and I'm going to do everything I can in my right to make sure we do whatever we can the civil right way to get that body cam footage so we can see what really happened. The witness, who's a friend of my brother's and a friend of the family, doesn't even want to come out and speak because she said the police department was basically intimidating her because of her immigration status. That is not right. Everything they did, they violated every type of rights we have as humans and as American citizens, and those who don't even have rights. Because they're afraid to speak up, they're afraid to pull out the phone. And this is why I'm here today, because, you know, they think we're gonna, let's just sweep him under the rug because he probably has no family members. He probably has no friends. But the thing is, my brother touched everybody's hearts. Why? Because he was such a strong believer in the Lord that he played the piano, he sang on Sundays, he did what most people wouldn't do in low-income families that would want to turn their lives around. And the fact that the police department of Montclair did this to my family when we were trying to break out of that stereotype, and now we're just basically being made an example of, this is not right. It feels like a movie to me, and me as a SAG-AFTRA member of the film industry, it doesn't feel real. But I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to use all the resources I can, and I hope you guys do the right thing So release the body cam footage. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Marissa Ramirez.
Good evening, City Council and Mayor. I'm Marisa Ramirez. I'm speaking upon the Ibanez family. On March 5th, police received a call for assistance at the home of Tony Ibanez. There was no one in danger, simply a call for assistance. They beat him to death. They tased him. He fell into, the doctor said he was brain dead. The family pulled the plug, and we call upon the city of Montclair to release the body cam footage. We need to conduct a thorough investigation into the beating of Tony Ibanez. His name is Tony Ibanez, remember it, please. We demand justice for Tony and his family, and for all of those who have suffered at the hands of police brutality. It is time for us to come together as a community and demand change. We must hold those in power accountable. And I leave you guys with this poem, City Council members. If we wanted to, people of color could burn the world down for what we have experienced, are experiencing, but we don't. How stunningly beautiful that our sacred respect for the earth, for life, is deeper than our reach. Remember his name. His name's Tony Ibanez.
Buenas noches. Disculpen que no sé hablar muy bien, pero mire, yo vengo a decirles que ustedes tienen el deber de disciplinar a la policía. No toda la policía es mala, no toda la policía ha hecho lo que le hicieron a Tony. Él es mi sobrino. Pero como ustedes yo veo que es... A ver...
Mikey. Can Mikey do the interpretation Spanish?
Yeah, I'll let him go ahead and do that.
Okay, do you need a mic on, Mike? Go ahead, Mikey, put him on.
And this will be at 10 minutes, by the way. 5 minutes for speech language.
Disculpen, me interrumpieron porque ya estaba entrado. Pero mire, estoy diciendo igual, ustedes que están aquí sentados, ustedes tienen que disciplinar a la policía para que no vuelva a suceder lo que pasó con Antonio.
He's saying what occurred shouldn't happen again and the police should be disciplined for it. Not all the police are bad, but just those police officers who were involved in it.
Porque lo que hicieron con Antonio no se lo hace ni a un perrito que lo agarra uno, lo papacha. A él llegaron, le dieron para que, hasta que murió.
Because what they did to Tony is something that you would never do, not even to a small little dog. They grabbed him and they hit him, and that's not something that you would even do to an animal, let alone a human.
Yo tengo fe de que ustedes hagan justicia por Antonio, porque él ahorita ya no está con nosotros, pero él era una persona buena.
I know that I have faith that you guys will do the right thing, and even though Tony's not here right now, I'm talking on his behalf.
No nomás por, hay que hacerlo por aquí el estado, la ciudad, porque todos están mirando para todo el mundo. ¿Qué van a decir aquí? Que son como son los policías con la bola de batones? No.
We're not just doing this for Tony, but we're doing it for everyone in the state because everyone is looking at us, and we need to set an example that this shouldn't happen.
Porque la policía está para cuidarnos, no para matarnos.
Because the police are here to protect us, not to kill us.
Disculpen de todo lo que he dicho, pero me sale del corazón decirles que por favor hagan algo para que no vuelva a suceder todo esto. Y también les pido, les ruego, les exijo que den las cámaras que traen los policías para que vean quién está correcto
I apologize for what I'm saying, but I'm speaking from the heart, and I beg you to release the body cam footage.
Como vuelvo a repetir, hay policías buenos y policías malos.
There's good
Dentro
ones
de
and bad
ahí
ones.
están los policías malos que le hicieron el daño a mi sobrino.
There are bad cops that did what they did to my nephew, but there's also good ones.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Disculpe, ¿eh?
Thank you, gracias. Thank you, Mikey.
Aloha, oi, Alika Valdez. My name is Alika Valdez. Thank you for having me here tonight. From what I see about Tony Ibanez, about what's going on about him, it's really inhuman. You guys need to release the body cam footage of these police officers, please. This is not right. And if I did something just like that, I would release the body cam footage. Why not? I mean, I was raised in Hawaii. I'm from Honolulu, okay? And I was raised the old-fashioned way. Because I bet you guys were too, right? And my family admits to everything. Most of my family, I admit to my family. I confess. And there, like he said, there's bad cops that lie, and there's good cops that really spur it out. Guaranteed, right? So that one day, you guys don't release that body cam footage. One day, someone will confess. What goes on comes on. Mahalo nui aloha. Gracias.
Thank you.
Hello, mayors and councilmen. Hello, mayors and council members. I want you to look at this case as if it was your family member, as if it was your brother, or as if it was your son. In the state of California, police go through a minimum of 24 weeks, which is 6 months of training. A barber has to go through 2 years of training. Yet the Supreme Court has shielded these public servants from liability for their misconduct, even when they break the law or violate someone's constitutional rights. Police are not the judge, jury, or executioners. We've seen what happened to Tyree Nichols in Memphis, and I'm hoping that this is not the case. So what the public wants is transparency. As public servants who has their salaries paid by the public, I think it's right to show that. So the public is also asking for the release of the names of these officers. It is imperative that we know if these officers have priors, because usually when situations like this happen, they do. And also the release of the body camera footage. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished council members, Mayor. My name is Humberto Guizar. I'm a civil rights attorney. Been litigating these cases for 37 years and have a lot of experience in these cases. And it's not often that a human being is killed in their home. In their home, where they sleep, where they want peace, was killed in his home. Okay? And you have not released the body worn camera yet. That's very suspicious. Because I know in this city, there have been cases where people have committed crimes and you catch them on a video. And immediately the same night, they release those videos. But here, where we have some police officers involved, you are refusing to release the body worn cameras. You were elected by the people from Montclair to represent them and speak for them and act as a liaison for them against the police. I know they work for you. I know you consider their salaries. You make decisions that affect them. But the public is the ultimate person you serve. This belongs to the public. This house, this council chambers belongs to the public. It doesn't belong to you. You are here to serve the public. And I demand that you release the body worn camera immediately so we can see what happened. And if something happened that warranted the behavior, then we'll know. But without that knowledge, the people are left to scream and demand justice. And that's what we're here doing. And we're asking you, please, to release the body worn camera. Thank you.
Next is Chris.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Christian Contreras. I have the honor and the privilege of representing the Ibanez family, Abraham Rojo, of course, and Tony's other brother is here as well. Maria Ibanez could not be here today based upon her being in such distress. Not too far from here, about 1.5 miles on State Street, Antonio Ibanez lived and rented a room from a woman. And on March 4th and going on to March 5th, there was a call to law enforcement. There was a call to the police. However, there was no one in danger. There was no one who had been harmed. There was no one who needed immediate assistance of the police. However, the police went to the scene, and when they got there, again, they confirmed no one was in danger, there was no emergency, and there was no immediate need to intervene in a situation where Antonio Ibanez was in his own home, where he sleeps, where he seeks refuge. And what happened was these officers from the Montclair Police Department, they entered the home. And upon entering the home, they began using force. And not only were they using their hands and their fists and their arms, they were using batons, they were using tasers. And there were not just 1 or 2 police officers, there were multiple police officers who then converged on Antonio Ibanez. Tony. And Tony was there helpless, being beat, being tased, being essentially just bombarded by these police officers. And of course, any regular human, any person who is human would be subjected to a medical emergency, and that is what happened. Tony went into cardiac arrest. He was taken to Montclair Medical Center, not too far away from here, and he spent the next 12 days there. He was declared brain dead shortly after arriving there. He was fighting for his life. He was fighting for his family, and his family who was right there next to him. So he suffered. He suffered every second, every minute that he was in that hospital. Until finally, 12 days later, his family ended the suffering. His family said enough is enough, and he passed away. Tony is dead. He passed away last Wednesday. So what do we know about this case? What do we know about the police? We know that the police can only use force when reasonable. Police can only use force when they are being faced with a threat of bodily injury, when someone is evading arrest, when someone is doing something which is necessary for police intervention. But here again, there was no one in danger. There was no one who was subjected to anything which warranted this type of police interference, right? But despite that fact, the police went in there and they used force, and they used it excessively, and they went beyond the reasonable measures that they're allowed to in this country. The law is clear. The law says they can only use force when reasonable under the circumstances. Is it reasonable to beat someone? Is it reasonable to tase someone? Is it reasonable to beat someone with batons? Multiple police officers. Is it reasonable that 8 police officers went up against one person? The answer clearly is not. It is not reasonable for that to happen. It is not reasonable for someone to be subjected to that. And that is how we know that the police officers acted unreasonably. And what are we left with? We're left with an entire community. An entire community here and family who is ripped apart. Who is left to pick up the pieces, not knowing what to do. So we ask you all to do the right thing. We filed a Public Records Act request 8 days ago. So by law, pursuant to the Government Code and the Public Records Act, you must respond at least in the next 2 days, and you are required by law to provide the names of the officers, any investigative materials, and anything in your possession to the public. And I know the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is investigating, you know that, and I know you can't say much because there's pending litigation.
How much time you need, sir?
I'm wrapping up.
Okay, go ahead.
So just at the very least, at this point in time, we ask that you release the names of the officers involved, the body-worn video, and anything else that gives some sort of comfort at the family and the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The last part I have, Daniel Silva.
Good evening, council members. My name is Daniel Silvas. Oh my God, what I'm hearing tonight takes some courage to speak out. We need justice. So, I'm a former longtime Montclair resident, a graduate from Montclair High class of 2009, and I'm here for Tony Ibanez, his family friends. He's my long-term friend, and it hits different when he's your friend. My thoughts and prayers goes to everyone here who's affected, the entire community. And it hits different, when it's close. We demand justice. Please release the body cam. Please hold those responsible accountable. That's all I ask for. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, Andrew, you have anybody else? I'm sorry, Bruce. Okay, well, thank you very much for everybody being calm. Obviously, this matter is under investigation, and we will let that proceed as the investigation's going. And as well, we can't have any comments. I know there was a gentleman that spoke earlier, Andrew Edward. So with that, I'm going to let's take about a 10-minute break. I gotta use the men's room real fast, and we'll convene after that. So let's say we'll convene at 7:45.
Alsoca, South Central, Jeff Morales, Rodin Enamorado,
Oh God, sorry. You be.